Hi, I am Fateh, a fan of football, a fan of the Premier League, and most importantly, fan of Liverpool Football Club. This new season is on to us, and me and my father will bring to you short videos about Premier League teams and predictions on our channel, Fateh and Father's Premier League show. Let's start off with two videos about each team's Premier League business, transfer business, and prediction.
Okay, so after that we will every week predict the week's games and then see how the scores will end up. But let's start with every team's preparation and transfer business. So let's start with Luton Town.
Yes, Luton Town, the newcomers.
Yeah, what do you think about them?
Well, they are new and they don't really have a lot of experience in the Prem. This is the first time since 1980s, so it's going to be a new thing for them. How do you think Edwards is going to cope with the Premier League?
He's a smart coach.
Yeah,
And he did well with the limited budget what they have. But what do you think about the transfer business? How do they did?
they've signed some good players, but how Giles has come from Wolves, he's a left wing back, and Chong, a midfielder from Birmingham. How do you know that they're Premier League proven? They start in the Championship, but you need to know if they can do it in the Prem. Can they really do it in the
Who is their best player?
It's Morris, I believe. He's got 20 goals and 8 assists.
Okay.
So let's see if he can do it in the Premier League. But what do you think as a position? 20th?
I think 20th, not as much as I want them to be 20th, but
I think
they
they're going to
will be
be
20th only.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Sheffield United.
Everything's gone downhill ever since they got promoted. They've lost their main star, Enem Enedai, to Marseille. Senegalese striker. He was the main guy. They should have some nice players, Berge and Ahmedzovic from Bosniana. So that's a defender and midfielder.
But I heard this news this afternoon that Berg is about to leave.
Yeah,
That's not a good news for
that's
them.
not good. And more importantly, it's to a rival Burnley. That would not be nice because probably these two sides they will be fighting each other in the relegation battle.
Okay. I think it will all depend on the Premier League crowd. How can they help them? And
Yes.
who is their coach?
It's Paul Heckingbottom, I believe.
Okay.
His championship status, it's all right, but how do you know that he can do it in the Prem? It's the same thing like Luton Town. How are you sure that a player or a coach can do it in the Premier League? They were here 3-4 years ago, but the squad has changed massively since.
Okay, so we put them at 19?
Yeah, they're going to get
19, they will
relegated.
be relegated.
Not that I want them to get relegated. I'm a big fan. I really like Sheffield United, but they're going to go down 19.
Okay, then the Burnley, 13, which won the championship after all. They have a very smart coach.
They didn't win it. They destroyed it. 101 points.
Wow, that's a record.
Vincent Company,
Um,
he's a brilliant manager.
And what do you think on the Friday, the first game of the year, where Vincent Company?
Will host his former manager and teammates at Turf Moor, City v Burnley.
Yeah, what a night it will be there.
Yeah, the Turf Moor crowd will be buzzing.
Okay, I think they did good in the business also. They have signed some of the very young players, and now there is a talk about Burge coming from
Burke
Sheffield.
would be a very nice signing. He would like complete that midfield of Westwood, Brownhill, and Burke.
They have experienced captain also. Who is he was their best player last year, I think
Brownhill.
so. Yeah. So, what do you think about them?
He's Premier League proven. He wasn't the best player in the Prem, but he's shown in the Championship.
And then on the top of it, icing on the cake, the goalkeeper. Record
Yes.
signing for Burnley.
They signed James Trafford, the under-21 Euros champion with England, and O'Shea, a West Bromwich Albion centre back. So nice transfer business.
Overall, will they survive?
A young squad, a young manager. It's new, but yes, Burnley will survive. 17th place.
Okay, great. Next up is Everton.
Last year at Goodison Park before moving into the new stadium. But will they move into the new stadium relegated?
I think so. They were just survived. They survived last 2 years just on the last day itself.
Last two games it always takes.
And they have a defensive coach, although he can organize well, but at the end of the day, he is defensive coach. And on the
Yes.
top of it, they are not doing any transfer business as such.
Who's really the main player apart from Pickford? I can't really see somebody brilliant. Tarkowski, he's a good centre back, but not great. Onana can perform once in a while. McNeil, he showed signs of improvement ever since he signed. Ever since he's reunited with his former manager Sean Dyche. But who will get you the goals?
That's a
Danjuma
big
could,
question.
but they've lost Anthony Gordon now in the winter. Who will really? Do you believe in Calvert-Lewin?
I don't think he's too often injured.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for them to get goals from. And if you don't get goals in that team where Dyche is making them defensive and playing on counter, it's always a challenge for them.
The formation Dyche really uses is that he defends, and then he hits it forward with his defenders to tall forwards. This worked really well at Burnley with Chris Wood, but will it really work with Calvert-Lewin or Maupay?
I don't think it will work, and this year will be the year when they finally get relegated, first time in their history, is it?
Yes.
Oh no.
I think 70 years around
Yeah, so they will be relegated, I think.
with 18th place. Will it be
Yeah.
last year drama again?
I don't think so. This year they will be comprehensively relegated. That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, let's do Nottingham Forest. Was there
Yeah.
any kind of form last year? Any
No,
kind?
it-
30 plus signings.
Yeah, it was a season of ups and downs, and they had a lot of players signed, but really didn't gel over the season. It was like
Do you think-
sometimes their home form was so good, and home form could make them survive in the season. Otherwise, they could have gone down. They was not at all playing well sometimes.
Yeah, city ground, big atmosphere. But one thing I need to be certain of, will Brennan Johnson star again like last year? Will he be perfect?
The question is, will he be at the Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Do you think at Chelsea or United will stick
Maybe,
around?
maybe. But then overall, did they sign someone? They signed
Yes, they have.
Ilanga.
They signed Ilanga from United.
Yeah.
They got Chris Wood now on a permanent.
Okay.
So there's some good signings.
So there are good signings, but still, it will be a difficult season for them.
Few outgoings as well. Renan Lottie is going
Okay.
to Marseille, but I never really saw him play part in the team.
But they signed so many players, so it doesn't matter really who is outgoing. No?
Do you think there's still lots of players who they signed last year but still have to prove themselves? Like for take example, Emmanuel Dennis. He starred at Watford, but he hasn't really got a lot of game time at Nottingham Forest. Do you think there'll be some kind of players like him who want to prove themselves this year?
Yes. And then on the top of it, they have a problem with goalkeeper. I think they solved it today. They signed Matt Turner
Yeah, Matt Turner.
from Arsenal. He's a good goalkeeper.
He's
He
a
was
good- but is
team number 1 goalkeeper.
Yes, he's number one. But
Okay.
is he first choice? He can do it for the US, but in the Premier League, the hardest league in the world, it might be a bit more tough.
But still, let's hope for the
Let's
best. But I think they will survive.
They comfortably this year.
16th?
15th.
I think 16th is the better. 15th?
Yeah, 15th.
Okay, they will end up 15th.
Next up, Wolves. They can't score. They concede. Don't really concede. They don't score. They're a mid-average team, really.
So it's
Bang.
the Wolves is all the news coming from Wolves camp is all negative. Their coach from the last year, Julian,
Lopetegui.
he did so good work with them after
And there's
coming
some
in
news about him
December,
getting sacked.
and he is about to leave. They are not going to sack him. He is about to leave because there is very minimum transfer business going on.
There's a lot of transfer business, but it's all outgoings. They've lost Raul Jimenez, they've lost Connor Cody to Leicester, Raul Jimenez has gone to Fulham, Joao Moutinho has gone to Aston Villa, and a few more. I can't even remember them. How many have left?
So, but then these many players leaving them and no incoming, it is a guarantee for a difficult season to come. And then now there's a talk about Gary O'Neill coming as a coach.
He would be a nice thing, you know. He has a similar kind of format.
But still, it will be a difficult season. What do you think about them? Where will they
One
end
thing
up?
I have to say, Neves has gone to Saudi Arabia. Big loss.
Yeah.
It's
Where will they end?
16th probably.
Okay. Bournemouth?
Bournemouth. After against all odds, everybody said that they would get relegated. The bookies, literally everybody said Bournemouth would go down. If not 20th, 19th, 18th. But they stayed up and a bit comfortably. But why did they sack Gary O'Neill?
I don't know. Maybe they have seen something in the new coach. Areola?
Areola.
Yeah, he did good in Spain. And
Yeah,
I
he has a
hope he
nice
will do good
reputation.
with the Bournemouth also.
He took a second division side to the Copa del Rey semi-finals in just 2 years.
Okay,
Getting
that's
them
great.
promoted and
I think
top
they
10.
will do good for Bournemouth. What's the business? Transfer business?
They
lost
lost
Lerma?
Lerma. Yeah.
Lerma,
to
yeah.
Crystal Palace. That's
But
it.
did they add someone?
They they have got a few of their loanees have become permanents, Utara Tango and
Okay.
Traore. But the big blow is Lerma. They've let him go to Crystal Palace, a rival, because both mid-table side. That's a bit of a poor decision to let him go to a rival.
Okay. What do you think with them? Which position?
Bournemouth, I think they could finish in a similar kind of position.
Which position? Maybe
14?
14th?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
one position.
Then
higher.
which team we are now?
West Ham United.
Oh no! What a season that was for them.
43 years ago, West Ham United lifted the FA Cup. Little would they know that for the next 43 years they would not win a single trophy. But it has finally come to an end. West Ham United lifted the UEFA Conference League.
And the captain who left them.
Declan Rice has now left, but that leaves him the whole amount of cash, 105 million.
And I think they have started using the cash. They have. There is a news about they have signed Alcaraz from Ajax at 35 million. It's a kind of smart business.
Alvarez.
Alvarez,
He's a
So they have
CDM.
signed-
He seems like a good player.
Yeah,
Mexican.
so he will replace Rice directly.
Yeah, he's a perfect position.
Okay, and then I
I'm
think
actually
they are,
surprised that West Ham can gain him because there were big teams like Dortmund and Chelsea sniffing around.
okay, that's smart business then. And then they are trying to get Maguire and McTominay from.
McTominay is just like those
Manchester United.
players they need so that they can play all the Thursday nights also. And Maguire, I think they need strengthening in that back line.
But there was a news like they want to sign Solanke from Bournemouth, but they were not succeeding.
Yeah.
But I still have doubt with West Ham. Where do they get the goals from?
Antonio, Bowen, Benrahma. That's
Bowen is still, yeah, you are right. But then there is a news about the management and coach not agreeing on some of the signings. Will that
David Moyes. Yeah, he
make a
could leave.
difficult start for them?
Yeah, it could be a bit of a distraction. Not to mention the already distraction of Thursday nights.
But I think we playing in Europa League and then having so much money from the Rice sale, they will end
end
some
up
good
in a high
players
position.
and they will be top 10 team this year. I think so.
Yes,
They will end up 9th. I think.
9.
That's
Yeah.
what I think.
A bit unfortunate that they won't get European football, but
That's
some
okay.
big teams should have covered.
And then there is Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
Who would have thought they will end 12th last year after their
So many.
Bowley purchased them, and it was like a revolving door of players only coming in, not going out.
You don't
Going
even really need the squad. Last summer and last winter, they were just completely focused on signing. This summer, they completely focused on selling.
It's even difficult to count the number of players who left them this summer.
Yeah.
no?
Azpilicueta, the captain, is gone.
Mhm.
Edouard Mendy is gone to Saudi. Kante to Saudi. Koulibaly is also gone to Saudi. Kovacic is gone to City. Havertz, Arsenal, Mason Mount United. The list goes on forever and
And
ever.
Loftus-Cheek to AC Milan.
Pulisic also to AC
Pulisic
Milan.
too, yeah, and then Lukaku.
Lukaku will
Lukaku
probably
will also definitely go. So there are a lot of players going out, but
but
then
a few signings. Christopher Nkunku is the name.
okay, then they signed other players also,
Nicholas
young players.
Jackson. Imagine the front line: Jackson, Mudryk, and Nkunku. I think that'll probably be who they play. Maybe sometimes rotated Sterling, Madueke, but that'll probably be what they play. And
What will they do? I think with the Pochettino, an experienced coach, they will be better this year. They will
Yes.
fight for the European places and may
yes,
end up
Champions League
in
probably.
Europa League.
Yeah, no European distraction. That's a big bonus. It's only Premier League to focus on. Try to get a high spot in the Prem.
Okay, and then the last team in our first video is
Didn't say-
Crystal Palace.
So which position? Daddy, we didn't say the position. So which
Fifth,
position?
we just discussed about it.
Okay.
Fifth, they will end up, I think, in the European places.
Europa League. But
And the Crystal Palace,
Crystal Palace, there's big money. Is the big thing is that Roy Hudson has renewed. He is now permanent.
yeah, they said he is retiring. He was retiring last year, and then they had to call him
Yeah, I
back.
really don't understand.
And what
Roy
a job
Hodgson.
he did.
He was at Palace like 2 years ago, and he said I retire. Then a few months later, he went to Watford to try and keep them up last year, but he failed. They went down, and then he retired again, and now he's again come back to. I don't think Roy Hudson's football days are over. He keeps saying he'll retire, but he just keeps coming back.
I think
and
he
now,
loves football so much that he keeps on coming. But what about Crystal Palace as a team?
Now-
When he came back, he could play Eze and Olise, where Patrick Vieira was not at all able to use them.
Roy Hodgson had a reputation for being sort of Sean Dyche's defensive coach, but now he unleashed the full might and power of Olise, Eze. Of course, Zaha would be really nice, but now that Zaha's not there, they're going to have a big gap to fill.
Okay, that it seems like okay, but they have added Lerma now from Bournemouth.
Yeah,
And
Lerma.
I think they will be fine. They will end up again in the mid-table. Where
Yeah.
do you think they will end?
I think 12th.
Okay, so that's for now, and we will
That's all
discuss
for now.
another 10 teams in our next video.
Thank
Thank
you for
you, guys.
watching. Bye.